was body logic.
You were body
I am
logic.
body logic.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
then you
I'm piece
combined,
by practice.
and it was piece by practice. Okay, you were piece by practice.
So really
All right.
connect. We don't even have a social media platform for.
No, but that's okay.
We
yeah.
literally we were in Knoxville. We were teachers assistants for level 1
Okay.
in Knoxville, and I think I like walked over to you when we had a break. We weren't even supposed to be talking to each other, and I went, "What if we created an umbrella name?"
Yeah.
I was still in my
awesome.
manipulation phase.
Yeah.
Okay, she needs to ride her bike to work. And she has to
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. But then, what were you doing at your practice
So
before? What was the
I
meat
was
of it
doing
that kind of combined into
I was
this?
doing neurokinetic therapy
Okay.
after I, met her and started my
Yeah.
training, because this is like a year and a half in. for
Okay.
me. But I was doing it all from my home.
Okay.
So
It started there.
Yeah.
All right.
Because hers got flooded. Her studio got flooded in Ida.
right, for
I was
Ida.
going to her at first.
Okay.
But that wasn't even for very long, and then we both had to start working from our home.
Okay. And then it formed into this and everything, and it took it down that route. And then
Yes.
I did the therapy, and I kind of immediately so it's NKT.
Yep.
And how does it differ from like just regular therapy as far as like physical therapy goes?
Well, NKT is all about movement patterns.
Okay.
Okay, so it works with the motor control center of the brain.
Yeah.
So we are mapping out what your dysfunctional compensation patterns are through muscle testing.
Yeah.
And then we pair the dysfunctional, like if we get, I guess we could compare it to like the cell phone connection,
Yeah.
analogy. So you're connecting, like you went to go move your lat,
Yeah.
and it failed, right? So let's say that particular lat had like 1 bar,
Okay.
from
Oh, I
the
got
motor
you,
control
yeah.
center of your brain. Whereas, the upper trap area is getting all the bars all the
Okay.
time. Okay, so what we do is we map out those dysfunctional compensation patterns, and then
Yeah.
we reset them through a series of releases and activations.
What like the difference that I noticed, it was always with like therapy, everything is so generalized. So it's like they give you all the exercises for a bunch of different things you don't even really know. You're like, I guess this has something to do with what I'm doing. But you guys kind of, everything was very
Strategize.
specific and
Customized,
strategized. It was customized, but then it made sense because it was like part of you thinks maybe it doesn't have something to do with the exact area. So it's like you guys go down the path of like, well, it's actually here, and we got to deal with this part down here.
Yeah.
So it's more.
They call it the missing link.
Yeah.
It's like the step that a lot of people aren't like taking.
Exactly.
Because they just maybe don't have the time to go that route or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's the missing link. So we're looking at, okay, what is that piece
Yeah.
that is really kind of making all of this other stuff happen?
So
Yeah.
when I first got started in this back in 2018, I'm a problem solver by nature. So what I noticed is with all my clients, the majority of my clients, they would get some relief from myofascial release, cupping, generalized massage therapy, but then they would come back in a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks with the same exact problem.
Sure.
So then I started researching different modalities that were available that would help find what the actual root cause of the problem
Like giving
could be.
people a solution that actually
Yes.
like lasted. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it really has been the missing link
Yeah.
to my therapy practice, because it has allowed me to really customize the therapy that I offer my clients. Jessica kind of coined it smart massage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or smart fascial stretch, because we are able to go in and figure out, okay, we don't want to just go in and stretch everything. I don't want to just go in and just massage it.
Yeah. And there's
everything.
a lot of things happening at once
Right.
too. Yeah.
So, we're gathering the information that we need from the motor control center of your brain.
Sure.
So we know exactly where to go with the therapy that we're going to provide.
It feels good too. It really does. But then also too, it was funny. Like afterwards, every time you go to a therapist, it's always like a bunch of different exercises that you got to do. And I think that's probably why people don't continue. Like maybe it's just too complicated or something, because they'll give you a list of things to do, and it's like long periods of time you got to spend doing these exercises.
tend to
And
Yeah,
we
it's 2 or
struggle
3,
with
yeah.
struggle with getting people to do their exercises. as
Yeah,
well
and it'll always be a
sometimes.
problem,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
and
yeah.
that's where like the kind of a full session, which you didn't get to experience the full session
Yeah.
of being able to get that deep release. So when we are looking at having a session, we are looking to change a pattern.
Okay.
In order to change a pattern, you have to do it 500 to 700 reps. And so if you have a full session with us, we're hoping you walk out of here and you easily can kick off 200 reps,
You
no
just
problem.
go right into it. Yeah.
Because you are so, like, we've released so well through the fascial system and everything
Sure.
that you can just walk out of here and all of a sudden just your daily movements, you just got 200 patterns,
Yeah.
200 reps of that pattern.
Yeah.
But then you have to, then we give you homework of this, like 1 to 2 things, and then you continue to do those 2 to 3 times a day, and to help keep that pattern so it's more of a pattern of function rather than a pattern of dysfunction.
And it's 1 to 2 things. Like
Right.
it's kind of
We
at
try to
that
keep
point
it
you have no
simple.
excuse.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like you should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
for somebody like yourself who's already active.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier for us to say, okay, you know, he's going to do maybe 3 to 4 resets. You
Yeah.
know, whereas our, you know, average person who sits behind a desk all day for work,
It's not gonna
you know,
be as
we're hoping that they're going to do 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know, and then throughout that process, hoping that they will fall in love with movement again.